Like, why doesn't anybody talk about that? Or is that something that people don't do? Am I the only person that thinks about that? These are the questions, right?
It's LeahMouseVlog, LeahMouseVlog, it's LeahMouse's vlog.
Hey, what's up guys? It is the dead ass middle of the night here, which is why it's so dark. And the only light available in here is the really bright, harsh kitchen lights right above me that are super hot and super bright and super annoying, and I don't want to deal with it. The exposure is up all the way on the camera. I'm annoyed by how dark it is, but we're just gonna go with it because we are gonna have some pajama talk. I don't think that's a thing I've ever done before, but we're doing it now. And we've got our little candle here. Full moon candle, no less, so maybe I could use that. Ooh. Courtesy of Underworld Connection, wink wink. That actually works kind of well. I think it's just like, this is like the talking candle. You know how like you have the talking stick or the talking pillow or whatever, like you pass the thing around and that's when you get to talk. This is a talking candle. Every time I hold it, I get to talk. I'm the only one here, but doesn't matter. Ooh. If I hold it directly in front of me, it provides some nice light. That's beautiful. But I don't really want to do that the whole time. Ooh, nice breeze. Yes, I need that. It's so hot in here. Oh my God. It's entirely too hot for September because this is the beginning, the true beginning, we know, of the spooky season. I have to put my hair up. I'm sorry. I had to turn off the air conditioner because it was way too loud and it was annoying me. So I just have to get my hair up or I'm gonna die of some sort of rare sweat stroke situation. But anyway, this is pajama talk and we aren't supposed to look perfect. I'm in my oversized Beetlejuice shirt along with my Halloween pajama pants that I got ages ago and just unearthed from a box somewhere. And I actually kind of like the nice orangey glow, especially given the backdrop here, you know what I mean? Hi Watson. I'm actually gonna scoot you just a hair forward. Come just a little bit closer. There we go. Now I have a nice big shadow on my face from the light coming from directly above me. There's orange string lights. Got some Monster Brew coffee. Gotta have that. Man, that's good coffee. Oh, so the plan tonight was to just be lazy and watch TV because I've been literally doing nothing but making candles for like the last 5 days or something in a row, which is incredible, by the way. I can't remember the last time that I had to work round the clock for multiple days in a row to make candles. So you guys are amazing for ordering stuff. And I know it's not even all you. It's like a lot of people outside of my audience, just like from wherever finding my stuff. So that's awesome. I love making candles. I love it so much. I do. I could do it all the time, but it is nice to have a night off. So like I said, the original plan was just to watch TV and be lazy, but I don't know how to do that because I'm a workaholic. And when I'm idle, my mind wanders. So I don't know if that has something to do with just who I am as a person or like the autism thing. And if you're late to the party and don't know what I mean by the autism thing, well, I think it's self-explanatory. I recently sort of uncovered that I almost beyond a shadow of a doubt am autistic. So there's that. It lines up so perfectly, it's impossible to ignore, and I've embraced it and accepted it. And I do attribute a lot of things, more and more things kind of keep popping up here and there that connect the dots even more for me. I'm like, yeah, okay, it's just irrefutable at this point. I had to take the dog outside. I had to come up and make a pot of coffee for tomorrow, and I took the dog out while I came up. And I was thinking, I don't know why, my mind wanders to very strange places against my will, 100% without my permission. when I'm just sort of doing nothing, or even when I am doing something. If I'm doing something robotic, like that was a big problem at my last job. By the way, I wasn't going to talk about this either, but I decided, I mean, you all are probably, I don't know how many of y'all actually wonder what goes on in my life, and if you do, okay, cool, I appreciate that, that's nice. Or if y'all even notice or put anything together, because I know I don't really talk about too many things, but like, if anybody was wondering why suddenly I'm up all night now and I'm you know, like by myself in the middle of the night, like downstairs, like it's a little bit weird. You know, I used to hang out in the sanctuary during the day in the afternoons, and that's when I would record these, and I would like just got off work and stuff, and now I'm like in the basement alone in the middle of the night, you know what I mean? So it's weird. So basically I left my job. That's what happened. I left my job. It was a situation that I just kind of didn't want to put up with anymore. Like, I loved the job itself. I would do that job. I would do it without question, probably for the rest of my life. I really liked the job. It was the people that made it miserable. It was just became kind of a toxic situation, and I'm too old and finicky to put up with shit like that for very long, so I just left. So that's what's going on. So I'm especially grateful to have the candle orders, because it's keeping things supplemented, you know, in the meantime, while I'm sort of in the waiting room for another line of employment, which I do have lined up. I'm just kind of waiting back for paperwork and all that. So this is like the limbo rest period between, and I'm enjoying it very much. So anyway, like when I was doing that job, my mind would wander, because I just, there's so many things now about me that sometimes I'm not sure if I can attribute it to autism or not, because I don't know what's normal and what's just me or people like me, you know what I mean? Because I mean, how do you know unless you have a big basis of comparison, right? Like a giant body, like a study group is what they call it, I believe, like a giant body of people, of examples to compare yourself to. And I don't mean compare yourself to, because that's not what we should be doing. I just mean like what's normal for me isn't the way the rest of the world generally does something, you know what I mean? Doesn't mean it's bad, it just means it's different and it's not standard, I guess, is the way I mean to say it. So I don't know what to attribute to autism and what to attribute to just my personality or genetics maybe, or upbringing, or what. I honestly don't know anymore, but there are a lot of things that are irrefutably autistic. And one of them is, that came up for some reason when I was walking the dog. I had nothing to do with anything, but it popped into my head when I took the dog out. See, it takes me a minute. I go off on tangents, but I always circle back around. I was thinking about my ability to make and form and sustain friendships. And I know that that 100% is an autism thing. That's a huge, huge sort of common thread through the autistic community. I know that because primarily, see, now I'm no expert. I'm just learning about this. You know what I mean? Like, I haven't really dove deep enough to know 100% the ins and outs. I just can tell you what it's like from my perspective, and I know how the rules of autism apply to me, you know what I mean? So I don't know, I can't speak for everybody else, but I know that it's primarily a social, I don't want to say disorder, disability. It's a social thing. That's where you find your most challenges, no matter where you are on the spectrum of autism. There's always social challenges. As far as I know anyway. That's what I've come to understand. And the thing of it being, people don't realize that, you know, it's really difficult for people outside of people really, really close to you to understand, because that's the challenge, isn't it? To get people close to you, you have to overcome that barrier in one way or another, and only the people close to you get you, because those are the only people that you're comfortable opening up to. And it's like you wish you could explain yourself to the people outside your barrier so that you could be like, just be patient. you know, please understand where I'm coming from. These are my struggles, these are my challenges. It's not personal. I'm doing my best. You know, I wish I could just be 100% honest with everyone. And I want to be. I don't feel any reason not to be. I've always been an incredibly honest, straightforward person because I never understood any reason not to be. I never really kind of understood the polite lying thing, or just outright lying. I never really got that. I'm like, it just didn't make sense to me. And I know that's probably an autism thing. That's one of those things, because neurotypical people, that's the word, do this polite lie thing, or they feel shame or embarrassment, so they lie, or they lie to protect somebody or something. You know, they're all different kinds of lies. And I never got that. It never was instinctive of me to lie. Like little white lies, big ones, protective ones, polite ones, nothing. I've always just sort of said what's going on. I say how I feel. I mean, not like brutally, bluntly, and I'm not one of those like, I'm brutally honest, you know, type of people, but like, I just never understood the lie thing. So I've just always been straightforward is what I mean. I guess it doesn't come down to like honest or dishonest. It's just, I'm straightforward. So when it comes to socializing, the hump that I have trouble getting over is those tedious niceties that everybody starts off with to break the ice and get to know people. And I'm like, if you want to get to know somebody, just put yourself out there, like right away. Just put it all on the table, and then y'all can decide right away if you want to continue. Like, why waste time? Why waste time dancing around each other politely? And I don't mean like relationships or dating necessarily. I mean like friendships too. Like anybody. Why do you have to pity pat, tippy toe just to get closer to each other, to find out that you're not compatible? And then it's awkward because you've worked so hard to get to that point, you know? And that can be applied to anything. Relationships, friendships, coworkerships, you know, client stuff, anything. And then it's awkward, and you've invested a lot of time to get that close, and then like nobody wants to be honest enough to say, actually, this kind of doesn't really work for me one way or the other. Like breaking up in a relationship is something that people do. People do that. It's kind of a given when you start dating somebody. You're either gonna stay together or you're gonna break up. It is literally one or the other. So it's like you expect, if things start going not well, you can expect the breakup. But my challenge, and I never had a problem with that, by the way. My challenge was the friendship breakups. And I remember asking somebody about this. I don't remember who I asked, but I asked somebody because I was like, is it considered polite to like break up with a friend? Because like, you know, I thought I wanted to be friends with this person, and I found out I kind of don't. They're not really my cup of tea. But can you do that? Like, nobody ever talks about that. Nobody ever talks about ending a friendship. It's usually like friendships ending over some big blowout thing, like, you know, they slept with your boyfriend, or they stole a bunch of money from you, or, you know, they murdered your dog. I don't know. You know what I mean? It's always like some big thing, catastrophic, disastrous thing, and boom, you're no longer friends. And it's like this touchy thing that nobody ever wants to talk about again. It's like, well, is there really no way to just be like, you know what? We're not really that compatible friend-wise, and if we could just go our separate ways, that would be fine. Like, why doesn't anybody talk about that? Or is that something that people don't do? Am I the only person that thinks about that? These are the questions, right? I don't know. I don't know. This is one of the areas where I've always struggled, because I've tried to make friends, but that's the thing. I don't do the niceties. I don't know how to do the niceties. I don't see the point in doing the niceties. I'm kind of, like I said, I'm just straightforward usually from the get-go. And some people like that. Some people have grabbed that and ran with it, and they're like, oh, this is refreshing how just deep you got right off the bat. And how connected I feel to you just right away. You know how many people I've had say that to me? And this isn't me tooting my own horn. It's just odd to hear that from someone like me who is not social and kind of gets weird about socializing and making friendships. I'm like, I think I'm actually scared of making friends. I'm scared of committing to something that I might not like down the road and then being in that awkward position of like, can we not be friends? Oh, sorry, you know? And because people just tend to get so dramatic, females especially, like no offense fellow females, but you know we're dramatic. It just, bros are so much easier. I'm sorry. But like, yeah, like a bunch of people have told me, definitely not the majority of people, but a bunch have told me that they feel close to me and connected to me right away. And I think that probably is because I skip that step. I skip the whole smoothing in slowly thing, you know, and I just kind of cut right to the chase, and I'm just like, hey, this is who I am. And I flop that shit down on the table and I'm like, now tell me who you are. Let's talk about something deep. Let's talk about something real. Let's connect on some real level and see if we're compatible on that depth. Because if we're not, then there's no point in continuing. You know, and that's just kind of how I've always rolled. And I never really thought much about it. I never thought, oh, this is incorrect and I'm doing it outside the box or anything. It's just that for some reason is what I'm most comfortable with, which seems backwards because I'm socially inept because of all of the societal rules around socializing. I'm okay to talk to people as long as they're open to skip that step as well. I don't mind being open from someone from the get-go, with someone from the get-go. And that's why I wish that I could open up like this to people that I want them to know what they're dealing with me right away. You know, I don't want to pretend that I'm something that I'm not just for them to learn later that I'm different. I don't want to fake my way, put on my best foot forward, put on, you know, this face just to fit in and politely agree or politely pretend to be interested when they talk about like some Pokemon video game. Like, I don't care. I don't care about that. I'm not going to care about that. That's cool that you care about that, but I have nothing to say about that. I'm not interested. And I would expect them to do the same for me. If I started talking about something I was interested in, I wouldn't want them to fake along either. I would want them to be like, oh, that's not really my thing. I don't know anything about it. Frankly, I don't care. Can we move on? I would welcome that. I just wish more people were like that, and I don't understand why they're not. And that's the problem. That's the problem. Because I don't play society's little games, you know, I don't play along with what we're supposed to do, and that's where I get confused and that's where I get lost. You know, if you could just literally be straightforward and right from the start, then I would be comfortable sitting down with someone right away and going, okay, look, here's the deal. I don't like loud sounds. I don't like large crowds. I don't drink. I don't like going out and partying. I like reading. I like cats. I like coffee. I like quiet spaces. I like museums. I like this. I like that. And, you know, I have this social problem, you know, I'm autistic. I might say things sometimes that might seem a little bit weird, but I can't help it because that's what falls out of my mouth, because I have no control over the straightforward crap that falls out of my mouth, because I don't realize how it's going to affect somebody emotionally until after the fact, usually. It's always been a thing. I've always said some really stupid things that I'm not saying I'm not emotionally affected by things that people say, but it's very infrequent, because if it's true, what's the problem? So I never really got why people get upset when I say something that's true, whether it's my truth or everybody's truth. I don't understand. Like, I've lost a lot of friends over stuff like that. Friends in the making, rather. I don't think I've ever actually fully made any friends beyond like 3 or 4 people in my entire life. It's usually like a trial run. It's like a probationary period, and it never lasts beyond that, which is fine. But I've lost a lot of people during that probationary period because I feel comfortable speaking my truth, whatever that is, whether it's just an opinion about a movie, or God forbid, politics or religion, I've learned to stay away from those topics, and that's why I don't talk about them on the channel either, because I know better. I've learned. I don't understand why that's a problem. I don't know why everybody can't just have their own opinion. Anyway, so voicing my own opinion is like, for some reason, dynamite. It's just like, it's like C4. It's like setting off a C4 explosion that early in the probationary friendship period. And I've never understood why. I'm like, why am I not allowed to talk about this until we're like a sufficient amount of close? This is my opinion now. It's going to be my opinion then. Why shouldn't I be able to say it right now? You know, and like I said, I've lost people over this because they get mad and they don't like my opinion and they like lash out. And I'm just like, look, I'm not telling you this should be your opinion too. I'm just telling you how I feel about it. Like, to me, I'm just saying it. I'm just saying it. It's not laced with anything. It's not loaded. It's not a loaded statement. I'm just saying it. Like, to me, we're just having a conversation. This has come up a lot. This has been a very frequent issue with me and socializing, or even just within relationships too. Like, I'll just say something. I'm just saying it. To me, I'm just saying it. I thought of it. I'm saying it. I'm not looking to start a fight. I'm not looking to ruffle feathers. I'm not looking to push an agenda. I'm not looking to do anything. I'm just saying it because it's how I think, it's how I feel. And I'm just putting it out there. Like, you don't even need to respond. I don't care, you know? I don't care if you agree with me. I don't care if you even acknowledge that I said anything. I just wanted to say it because that's how I felt. And so many people, they get so angry because they don't agree. And then they think I'm this terrible person because, like, I have a differing opinion, and they start yelling at me and trying to like convince me why I'm wrong and why I'm a bad person. And I get really confused and I'm just like, whoa, why are you upset? Like, what's going on? I was just saying something. And it's even worse online because you can't indicate tone over text, you know? So there's been a lot of misunderstandings. So I've learned to just keep it zipped. At the same time, that sort of does the work for me, because when they freak out like that, then I don't have to worry about how am I gonna stop being friends with this person? Because they did it for me, because they got mad because they thought a certain way about something. But yeah, I just have a, circling back to that whole thing about being afraid of making friends. Yeah, I don't know. JJ and I have talked about this extensively because he's really the only one who has expressed concern that I don't have too many friends. Everybody else just kind of rolled with it and like, it wasn't a big deal. But for him, he's like, you know, I really wish that you had friends. I wish that you had someone to hang out with while I was busy, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, why? Why would you wish that for me? I don't want that. That sounds terrible. It's like me wishing that you had a bed of nails to sleep on. Like, why would I want that for you? Because that would be terrible. I don't want the friends. I don't want them. And I know that that sounds bad, but that's why. That's why. Because for some reason, we are expected, required, judged. We need friends. We require friends. It's a shame if we don't have friends. Like, we're judged if we don't have friends because there must be something wrong with us, and people make fun of these people like, oh yeah, but they have a lot of friends. Like, what's the, why? Why do we have to do that? Like, I genuinely don't need them. I don't want them. Again, I know this sounds bad, and like, I do have some friends. I wouldn't even necessarily call them friends. They're just kind of like acquaintances. Like, you know, I got Holly, of course she's a good friend, but I've known her since I was 5, so that helps. I've got Kevin, of course I've known him for nearly 20 years. I got Yvonne, whom I met a couple of years ago. We have seen each other about 5 times outside of work. We rarely talk to each other. And by rarely, I mean like once every 9 months or so, one of us will text the other one and say hi, and that's about it. But she struggles with the same thing that I do. She's really introverted and really socially, you know, thing, and we're both just like weird about it. So that's just its own little thing, but I do like her. And yeah, it's just like, I mean, I just don't get it, and I just don't require it. It's not something that I want. Like, I prefer to be alone in my downtime. I prefer to spend my energy and happy times with the person that I'm invested in, which is JJ. I'm invested in him. I'm invested in us being close. So if there's something fun I want to do it with him. And if he's not available, I'm completely fine being by myself. In fact, I prefer being by myself. I like it. It calms me down. It calms my brain. I can just sort of let things unravel how they're gonna unravel. I can focus on creative stuff. I can think. I can just do whatever, you know. And when I'm expected to make friends, which I've given up on at this point. I just don't care. I don't want to, you know, just because we're expected to do it. And I've tried over and over and over, especially with JJ. Like, he knows so many people. So I've like tried to make friends, you know, with either them or their girlfriends, their wives, which is the worst people to pair me off with, because I just don't do the female thing. I know that sounds really judgmental too. It's not meant to be judgmental. I just really don't vibe well with other females. I just don't. I don't know why, and I know a lot of y'all can identify, because y'all have said the same thing. And dudes are just so much easier, because I think it's because guys are a lot more straightforward. Females have a tendency, and please don't get mad at me for saying females. That's just a word I say, because again, this is one of the things that people get mad at me for, and I don't understand why. Because female, it is an accurate word. We are female. Biologically, we are female, and I don't know why people get mad at me when I say female. I don't understand the condescending context of that. I don't get it. And I'm sorry, please don't get mad at me. That's my word of choice, and I don't mean it in any way other than it's a descriptive word. Okay, so anyway, enough of that. The feminine species, they tend to be a little more disingenuous. They do a lot more of that dancing around polite thing, best foot forward, the polite lies. Lots of drama, so much drama. Oh my God. When it comes to females, it's just so tricky for me. I mean, I'm not saying they're all bad. I'm not saying they're all like this either. It's just, in my experience, it's just sort of been, yeah, it's just been pretty awful. It's been pretty awful. They just get so mad so fast over the smallest thing, and I just don't know how to deal with that. And I don't feel like it's worth fighting it out or apologizing, because I'm like, okay, look, if you're gonna flip out this hard, I don't want to be around you. I'm sorry. Like, I don't want to deal with this. This is just too much. Like, I need an easy thing. Like, if we're friends for, you know, 8 years and you want to have a giant blow up fight at that point, sure, sign me up. I want someone I'm comfortable enough to fight with, but not after I've known you for like a week and a half. That's just too much. I'm not dealing with that. You know what I mean? So like with the females, it's like I have to tiptoe. Oh, and it's so hard anyway, just to do the regular socializing, and then to do like the pretending to care about your kids. Oh, I'm sorry, I don't care about your kids. I know that makes me sound like a terrible person, but not everybody cares about kids in general, and definitely not everybody cares about other people's kids. It has nothing to do with us being bad people or being child haters or anything. It's just, personally, I just don't care about your kids. I mean, I wish them well, you know, I want them to thrive, and, you know, I'm glad they exist, good for you, but I'm not invested, and I have no reason to be invested, and I'm pretty sure that's probably an autism thing, because I'm not emotionally attached to you, let alone your offspring, so I just don't care, you know what I mean? Like, it's not that I hate it, it's just I'm indifferent, you know what I mean? So it's hard to pretend to care about somebody else's kids when they talk about them, because as a female, I'm supposed to just be enthralled and want to look at all these pictures and hear about their ear infections and every school that they go to and all this crap, and I just don't care. I'm like, can we just talk about something else, please? Like something we both have in common, maybe. Like, do you see any kids? I don't have any kids. There is one exception to the kid thing, and that's Tyler and Mandy, JJ's friends. Their son, Thomas, is adorable, and I love him, and he is super sweet. But I've actually met him, so there's a difference between like just forcing your phone in my face and scrolling through all these pictures and saying, look at my kid, look at my kid, look at my kid, you know, and I'm like, I don't care. Versus meeting him, interacting with him, and just absolutely realizing he's such a sweetheart, because that's different. That's very different. So little Thomas is the exception to that. I like him. But dudes are straightforward. I have straight up told JJ's friends to get the F out of my house when they've overstayed their welcome, and they do. And they don't hold it against me. You can't talk to women like that. I'm sorry, but you can't. Especially another woman. You can't. I could have never at any point said to any female in my entire life, get the F out of my house. But I've said that to several of JJ's male friends, and they're just like, oh, okay, gotcha. I'm out. See you guys later, you know, and it's fine. So that's why I get along with men a lot better, males, I guess. Just because I'm straightforward too, and I appreciate straightforwardness back. You know, I don't mean it in a mean way. I just want to be able to talk to each other how we're feeling and how we want to talk to each other. You know, and it's okay if you piss each other off. It's okay if you hurt each other's feelings. That's a natural part of life. I don't like the, I don't want to step on your toes. Like, so what? So what? Like, at least you know where you stand. You know what I mean? So that's the long version of me saying I'm okay with not having friends. I'm not in the market for friends. I don't appreciate the societal pressure of making friends. I don't need that. I don't like that. It's not for me. And that should be okay. That should be okay for me, and it should be okay for everybody else. I'm perfectly happy being in my own little bubble and not branching out and making friends. It's exhausting, it's tedious, it's nerve-wracking. It takes, I know this sounds selfish, but it takes up precious time that I could be using for something else. And again, I know that sounds selfish, but I'm sorry, but I have a certain set of priorities in my life, and maybe that's an autism thing. I feel like making the most of my time in my own way. The way that I feel works for me is what I'm on the planet to do. I don't feel like I should be wasting my time doing things that society wants me to do, not me. You know? I guess that's what I had to say. My battery is flashing at me, so I better go. Thanks for hanging out with me and having my awesome little Halloween pajama talk with me tonight. I hope we can do this again. This was kind of fun. Leave me your thoughts and comments below. I love you guys so much. Don't forget to watch out for the sheep. And vlog phrase of the day is friends. Who needs them? I'm such a shit, and I'm sorry. Please don't take anything I say in offense. I'm sorry. I'm a nut. I love you guys. Okay, bye.